Okay. Well, we are so excited. Welcome to 2022. Welcome to our Gold and Above call. This is something that Jordan, Joanna, and I started doing last year. I think 2021 was when we started this as a way to reward people for either reaching gold or maintaining that rank or being above 100 points. Because we know that getting to gold is a really big, hard challenge. I remember Tamara always saying to me when I was in the middle of ranking up, getting to gold, I remember her saying that there were probably about 10 different times that she was ready to quit before she hit gold. And so we feel like this is a really sweet place to be able to come and pour into one another for you guys to look on the screen. Right now we have 43 people on here. Look on the screen, connect with some of these women, go and look at their Facebooks, go watch their stories, go be inspired, link arms and run with people that are here. Because here's the thing, if you're showing up to this call, to me, that means this is something that you want, that you have a vision, you have goals for what this business could be for you and your family. And so tonight, we want to celebrate you being here. We want you to know that our goal with this call and with everything that we do as leaders in this company is to help equip and develop you into becoming really solid, strong leaders. So that way you can duplicate that down to your team. Because if you're here, you are absolutely capable. And this is not me blowing smoke. This is the honest truth. You are absolutely capable of hitting the rank, the position, the promotion that you want. But as John Maxwell talks about, everything rises and falls on leadership. This is not something that is an accidental business where you can get to diamond just by, not being consistent, by just hoping and wishing that you get somebody under you that really catches the vision. You have a lid as a leader, and so our hope is that we are helping equip you to raise that lid. We're hoping that we are helping equip you to know how to develop leaders under you. There's not a beautiful, simple system. If there were, you would see 18 million diamonds out there. This is hard work, but it's worth it, and it is so incredibly fulfilling. And so tonight, our focus is going to be on a few things, but starting off the year, we figured we need to get to the core of what we're doing, because if we're training and giving all these resources, but you don't have that belief, you don't have that vision, you don't have that buy-in, then all that stuff is void. And so we really want to work on the foundational core of the purpose that can come, that can then present or create passion here. And so we have a quick little video that I'm going to share, screen share with you all. It's a diamond. Her name is Lori Harrison. She and her husband both are diamonds within the company. So I want you guys to watch this. Jordan said that she doesn't cry very often when she watches things, but she did cry in this. So I just want you to just kind of put your heart into this. If you have kids all around you, see if your husband can watch them and put in your headphone thingy. So that way you can be fully focused on this. It's about 10 minutes. Here we go.
So I'm going to do a little video tonight about something that plagues a lot of us in this business, and I guess I'll title it Regret. Basically what I want to talk about is, how many times do you think, ooh, I should tell this person, I should tell that person about the products, about the business, and then you chicken out or you think about it too much. And actually, by the time you get to the end of the thought, you've already talked yourself out of it. And I was thinking about, how many times in my life I've done something that was outside my comfort zone, and how many times after I did something outside my comfort zone that I looked back and had regret. And I can't think of any. I mean, the nauseating feeling always comes before, not ever after. It's never in the form of regret. You get nauseated because the person intimidates you. You get nauseated because what if they tell you no? You get nauseated because a million reasons that we talk ourselves out of doing things that we know that we should do. But after you have done it, you never look back and think, I shouldn't have done that. I should not have told that lady whose little girl who has type 1 diabetes about Plexus Slim. I shouldn't have done that. You always think, well, I hope that was a seed well planted. And if not, then I learned that, hey, guess what? I survived. I survived telling someone something that normally would nauseate me. It's all a learning process. This business has been huge for me on a personal level, above and beyond what it has been for me on a business level, or even in on the level of the products. It's been huge for me just personally, spiritually, to help me grow, because I'm such a pleaser. I want people to like me. I don't want to say anything that'll make someone uncomfortable. I don't want someone to think I'm trying to sell them something. But here's the thing. And this is where I am now. And until you can get to this point in your heart, borrow some of my bizarre way of looking at things. I look at this like, I truly do now. I look at this like every single person who I don't share this with, I'm cheating them. I now hear testimonies that make me cry. I hear testimonies in the making. I know of several testimonies in the making right now that had I chickened out and had I panicked and decided not to tell someone, or decided not to post on Facebook about it, that I just don't look back with regret on those things. Those things are life-changing for people. You know these products change people's lives. You know that the business changes people's lives. I mean, I was thinking the other day, the cool thing about our business is we offer an answer for two of the biggest burdens that life has to offer: health problems and finances. I know so many people who had the shackles of a health problem and no longer have that. And I also have so many friends and family now who had, the burden of financial problems, and they don't have that anymore either. And you're just free to do so much more for other people, even when you're not burdened down yourself. I mean, it's an incredible business. It's an incredible company. The products are amazing. They change people's lives. I shared the other day that after Super Saturday, our local team came back to Ardmore, where we live, and we had Super Saturday night, which was a party that was sponsored by Jetty and myself and some other leading ambassadors in our organization. And they all happened to be, I was really tired that day. I had spoken at Super Saturday, and I was stressed out before I spoke. I was sort of freaking out about speaking to people, and especially the big crowd that we had. And so by the time we were driving home, I was exhausted, wasted all my adrenaline already, and now I still have a party to go to. And we got to the party, and it occurred to me at that party that everyone in that room was in my downline somehow. And we had one person after another get up and give a health testimony, and then we had several people get up and give financial testimonies, and they were life-changing testimonies, like completely life-changing. And I didn't even know most of the people that were in that room, but it occurred to me in the middle of the evening. It was like God was impressing upon me that had I talked myself out of it in the beginning, I almost talked myself out of ever talking about Plexus on Facebook. I mean, so close. It was so close to just deciding that this is not something I want to do. I'm worried about my photography business, basically. What if people think I'm trying to sell something? What if people think, fill in the blank? You know all the blanks. You know how to fill in the blanks. And it was like God was showing me a big eraser, huge eraser, just erasing all of those health testimonies in that room, all those financial testimonies, taking all of those people to wherever they were 2 years ago before I started with Plexus. Erase back for 2 years and give them back all their diseases and all of their debt. And it was huge for me. It wasn't about me, but for me, for God to show me, look what your obedience did. And I shared on a call the other night that when you remove yourself from the center of what you're doing, I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional up. When you remove yourself and your own concerns about yourself from the center of what you're doing, and you don't worry that, what are people going to think about me? What are people's opinions of me going to be once they realize that, I'm making great money now? What are people's opinions going to be about me because I'm involved with a network marketing company? So on and so on and so on. That's me. Me. And when you quit worrying about me, that's when the magic happens. When you start making it about other people. It seems like that's a flip, because in the beginning I remember thinking, oh, if I start selling this stuff, that's about me. That's about my finances. But that's not the way it is. It's getting the focus off of you when you start trying to help others, and you put helping others in front of what people are going to think about you. That was huge for me. A big eraser. Just imagine had you never decided to take this leap. Imagine had the person that told you about it chickened out. You could erase your own testimony. You could erase, you could erase the testimony of a child that lives in your house. I mean, I know that that's true for so many people. And so this is an amazing company. There's nothing about the company and nothing about the compensation plan that is anything except for things you want to boast about. You want to brag about them. I mean, our products are awesome. Our compensation plan's awesome. We don't have to falsify anything when we're telling people something, because everything's mutually beneficial to everyone. When you're answering questions, you can answer with your conscience being proud of yourself, of the fact that everything that you tell people, you can tell them the truth. You don't have to hide anything or hope they don't figure out this before they sign up or whatever. Everything about the company is upfront and honest, and I'm super proud to be part of this network marketing company. And I hope that you are too. And I hope that if you have to overcome a fear, just ask God to help you. Say, God, I'm scared, I'm worried, whatever. I don't know if I should approach this person. And I always just remember in the back of my mind, had this company been around 6 years ago when my brother was sick, and someone had been scared to tell me about something because they were afraid that I would think that they were selling something, try to sell something, or trying to, financially benefit off of my sorrow or whatever. If that's the case, that person is not a friend to me. If they had hidden it from me because of something me that they were concerned about. So I hope this hits home with some of you guys, and I hope that it helps you overcome maybe some obstacles that are affecting your business in some way. Turn it outwards. Turn the focus to other people. It'll make a huge difference in your business. It'll make a huge difference in the approach to your business.
Jordan, you want to intro, and then Joanna can go?
Yeah, I'm just curious, like I remember watching that, and I watched it the first time when I was like maybe a gold ambassador, probably like a lot of you guys. And of course, it was like it hit home. But then I watched it again as a diamond, and her talking about erasing stories. and the thousands of stories that had been created through all the scary things from gold to diamond, like the thousands of stories that would have been like, it was super impactful for me. It made me want to go do all the scary things all over again and just touch as many people as I can and take me completely out of it. So anyway, I would love to hear if you have thoughts from that video. I would love for us to talk about them. So just unmute yourself and tell us what you took away from it.
I really liked that she talked about getting yourself out of the middle of it, because I feel like a lot, at least for me, a lot of those fears of, well, what are they going to think? It's all like me focused, and I'm not actually thinking about like how big of a blessing could this be to somebody. But I'm like, well, what's the worst that could happen to me in it? So I really liked that perspective.
I just kind of want to piggyback off of what you said, Jordan, because I've seen that before, probably when I was maybe silver or gold, and just thinking about the impact, the difference that that's made, like from now to emerald, like with the lives, the financial blessings that, like, if I would have not done this, that would not be there. So it's huge.
Anybody else want to share really quick before we move on?
I know that that was how I actually had ended up approaching Lauren, who's on this call, is because she had initially said, I was just reconnecting, and she was like, girl, I see you doing plexus. I'm like, yeah, you do see me doing plexus, but I really just want to make sure you're okay. I haven't seen you in a while. I saw there was a tornado through your area. I just want to make sure you were safe. And then like through this conversation, she had then finally shared with me of like struggles she had. And I said, look, you and I both know that I do plexus. That's very accurate. But what you don't know, or you may not know, is gut health and all the stresses and the things you just addressed, how interconnected they are. And so, you know, I would rather have you know about it, and then we make it, you know, make a decision if you'd like me to connect you to the information. But if not, that's totally fine. I'm just not going to be the reason that you don't know about it. And then that was up to her to make that decision. And here she is. so it felt good to be able to share that, because that's exactly how I felt. Is I just wanted her to know that I love her and I want to help her. And so there it was.
Following on that, Kylie has taught me how to make it about other people. You know, it's great to have goals and to set for ranks and to plan your month, but really when it all comes back to it, my business is the most successful when I'm doing it for other people. And when my focus is on other things and I'm less fearful of all the scary things, which I'm still fearful of, but less fearful because it's no longer about me.
I think for me, with my story, if Tamara, because my friend and all of she's our upline. We are, well, other than Joanna's team, she pursued me for 4 years, and there were periods where I wouldn't respond to her message for 18 months. And I think back to if she would have only reached out one time and not pursued me wholeheartedly for 4 years, telling me why she believed in me. She wasn't salesy. She just believed that I could do this and do this well. I think about what where my family would be right now. And then that reminds me of, if I really believe that somebody would be amazing in this, why wouldn't I continue to follow up and be honest with them the way that Tamara was with me? So very thankful that she did not stop with that nudge in her heart and stop because it was uncomfortable, because I was ignoring her or I was saying no.
It's like the true definition of a loving nudge. She loves you enough to, I think Joanna put in the comments, don't rob somebody of a blessing. Let them be the deciding factor. You go offer what you got. I always say, like, if you're going to be my friend, I'm probably going to invite you to try plexus, and I'm probably going to invite you to Bible study. So just know that that's coming. Okay, Joanna, we have 3 things that we are going to touch on briefly, and then we really want y'all to ask questions. Like, this is a really special group. I hope you know this is a very, very special group to us. You are the next waves of rubies and emeralds. And so we want your feedback. We want your questions. We have 3 things that we really feel like if you pour into these 3 main areas this year, like there's no way you can't grow your leadership lid, or that you won't grow your leadership lid, or that you won't see growth in your business. Like there's 3. So Joanna's going to start.
Hey, you all. First of all, I love seeing all the babies on this call. I have been through 2 pregnancies while building my business to Diamond. And so much of the time, like so much of my business has been built with the baby in my lap or nursing. And so I love it. You all are amazing. And getting to gold is a huge, huge deal. I know so many of you are new golds on here. So proud of you. I remember when I went gold and I was in a hotel room. I was about to go to my husband's graduation. He had been at the academy for 20 months. I just had a new baby. I went gold that morning and I was crying. And I was like, oh my goodness, like I went gold, I can go diamond, because I had been told, like, you go gold, you can go diamond. And I absolutely believe that, like 1,000%. It's so true. Gold is really hard, and just be really, really proud of yourselves for hitting that. Okay, so really quick, I'm going to give a few tips on ways to get uncomfortable in your business, because that is how you're going to grow and see so many incredible things happen in your business, by intentionally getting uncomfortable. And it can be really hard to put yourself out there, to get out of your comfort zone. And so I just have a few things written down here to kind of give you ideas. I would also love to hear from you all in the comments, like something that just is really like an area in your business maybe that is just like a really hard one for you to get through or work in, because it's just really scary. So one thing is getting to events. That can be really scary. I went to my first convention. I had 2 people under me, introverted, like it's this massive event in Scottsdale. And I knew not one single soul. My sponsor wasn't there. And so I sat in the back and like, I mean, you know, all of this, like the music and the noise and like the crowds, like it was major outside of my comfort zone. But events, you all, will be really, really incredible for growing, and the friendships that come from them, the training, the belief, like they are like none other. So go to events, like make the sacrifices. That can be another uncomfortable thing, is figuring out how to budget for it, make it work, talking with your husband. Because for the first, I would say 3 conventions or 4 conventions. I've been in Plexus 7 years. So the first like 3 or 4 conventions, I really couldn't afford it. Like it was a sacrifice to get there. I was either pregnant or nursing for a lot of them. So I was like bringing babies with me and toddlers, and it was a lot, but it was so worth it to make that sacrifice, to put myself out there, to get uncomfortable, because it really, really makes a huge difference. So events. Another thing that could be uncomfortable, like back in the beginning of my business, this would have been something uncomfortable because my husband wasn't like a huge fan of Plexus. Having a conversation with your husband or your spouse about setting times in your business in the week that you can work. So where you can time block. So maybe when he's off work and you can go to a coffee shop, that is like the best. I love it. And I know a lot of times we can't do that. Maybe it means like locking yourself in your bathroom for an hour. I don't know. But getting with him to see if you can work out some times where you can have like solid intentional time working your business. Even if it's like 30 to 60 minutes by yourself working your business, you can get a lot done. So that's another thing. Getting a planner and actually using it. I know a lot of us are so not like organized. That's me. Or just kind of shy away from having like structure, you know, and just different things. So getting a planner, if Katie were on here, I would have her share really quick about her planner. I don't see her, but I gave her a planner actually for a gift back at Leaders Retreat a year ago. And it's the first year she said she actually used it. And it's like one of those year planners where it's like, it was $8 at TJ Maxx. And when you open it, it shows the calendar and it's like squares, and then you can write in it. So like what you're doing that day in your business, and then who you're talking to. And on the side, she wrote like who was interested, who she signed up. And it's super helpful to have that visual. And she is, fingers crossed, we're hoping in the top 45 for the Success Sprints and earning a trip to Portugal. But I really feel like that is one of the big reasons why she was really consistent and stayed diligent with using that. And that can be really hard. That was really hard for her to do. And so that can be uncomfortable, like actually, and I feel like too, because then you feel like responsibility, like, oh, okay, like now I could mess up because I said I'm going to do this and then I don't do it. So then you have that guilt. And so it can be hard, but that's another one. So something too that I think a lot of us struggle with or have struggled with is posting about the business more. That's another thing that can really get you uncomfortable if you're like me. And so share about the business more, and especially coming off that video, right? How can you not? But I think something that really, really helps is putting yourself in that person's shoes, like thinking, okay, like making this post I don't want to post. How could this help someone? Maybe there's a mom praying right now because she has a negative bank account and she doesn't know how she's going to get groceries next week for her family. And I could help her make $300 because I helped her get started and sign up 3 friends. So putting yourself in your shoes really helps. But if that's something that you shy away from, like the business, post more about the business. Something that has really helped me, I remember doing this early on because everything scares me. I feel like a lot, well, not everything, but a lot of things, just being introverted, like this call scares me, you guys, like my heart's being super fast. Like I don't love putting myself out there. Like it's scary. But I learned early on, I think, I don't know who I got this from. I feel like one of my uplines said this a long time ago, was like, just say yes. Like if it scares you, just say yes and then figure it out later. And I took that to heart. And I'd started doing that. And so if someone was like, hey, would you share a story? I would just be like, yeah, sure. I'd be like so terrified inside. I'd be like, oh my word, can't believe I said yes. How am I going to do this? But I would just figure it out. And I committed and I'm going to keep my word. And so saying yes, figuring it out later makes a huge, that really, really helps. Setting big goals, that can be, oh my word, so uncomfortable. So I remember going to my first convention. I took a picture with the emerald sign. I had 2 people under me, you guys. Like, I'm coming back here next year as an emerald. Actually didn't. It took me like 3 more years to come back as an emerald. But I posted about it, and that can be scary because you're like, well, what if I don't hit it? Like, and they're going to think I'm weird or just crazy posting about this business and I don't hit my goals. Well, who cares what they think? What was I saying? Oh, the big goals. Set big goals and share about it. I think the sharing about it part is scarier than just setting them to begin with, because letting someone know, because then someone else knows about it than just you. Yeah, it holds you accountable, like Emily said. So sharing with your sponsor, putting it on your team page and your team chat, like making a post about it, vision casting. You don't have to be making a lot of money to be sharing like you are, where you're going. And so I definitely think that's a huge, that's going to really help too. I think let's see, combo sharing. A few different things. Okay. So going live and sharing your story. So sharing your face, that's another thing that can be super uncomfortable, but your friends and family love you. They care about you. So they want to see you. And even though if you hate listening to the sound of your voice, like I do, like my husband will listen to my stories. I'm like, stop that, turn it off right now. Like I can't handle that you're listening to that while I'm in the room. So showing your face, going live, like that can be super uncomfortable, but it can touch people more than a post sometimes. You just never know. And then lastly, taking on leadership activities. For instance, like if someone's like, hey, I would love for you to share on this call, like just say yes, figure it out later. Even if it's a total flop, I mean, I've been there so many times, but it's going to help you grow and you're going to learn from it. And then the next time it won't be as hard or as scary. And then you'll keep getting better and better. Or maybe they want your help. Your leader wants you to help with an IPA challenge or whatever, but take on some type of leadership activity, even if it's scary, which is what we're talking about, right? Getting uncomfortable. So there's just a few ideas. I'd love to hear what y'all really, I think one of my main things that really is the hardest for me is reaching out to people like she was talking about in the video, and then sharing about the business. And so I was convicted watching that because I was like, oh my soul, I know there's people out there I could have helped. I wasn't bold enough. I'm going to be more bold. So, all right, that's it.
Joanna, I just have to tell you, your tip on say yes, figure it out later is probably one of like the most simple but brilliant things that's ever come out of your mouth, because it is something that I had to learn because I am such a control freak and I didn't like anyone else. Like, anyway, that was a huge thing. I should say yes. Yes, I will go into that trip. Yes, I will be at Leadership Retreat. Yes, I will do that live. Yes, I will commit to that 100 person reach out. How? I don't know, but I'm going to figure it out. So I love that.
And let me add really quick that reminds me of like convention coming up. Like so many people, like you have no idea how you're going to get there, who's going to watch your kids, how you're going to afford it. But like, just put it on your calendar and like, just say, okay, I'm going. And then be praying about it, be working to see, like, I feel like when you set that intention and you're like, you put that down, like things work out to happen. But if you're like, there's no way I can make it, I'm not even gonna try, like, whatever, I'll just watch it virtually. Well, of course it's not gonna happen. But like, if you just decide, like, we're gonna figure it out somehow. I have 6 months. I don't know who's gonna watch my kids, but God can work miracles. Or bring one of your kids. I don't know. You can do it. It's super family friendly. So anyway.
I want to say two things to that. Speaking of convention and comfort zones, who listened to the convention this last summer with Michelle Poehler? Am I saying her name right? However you say her name. She talked all about crushing your fears. And I'm actually looking at my notes from her call, and I'll see if I can try to find the recording and share it with everybody just as a refresher. But two of the things that she said, I think are so incredibly like mind blowing. I want you guys to write these down. Okay. The first thing she says is enemy of success is not failure, it's comfort. Write that down. The enemy of success is not failure, it's comfort. And then the last thing that I am going to challenge you on this little topic, which was not my topic to speak on, but I just saw it and I thought, oh, I forgot about this. She asked us, what would you be willing to get uncomfortable for? And that's what this is. For me, I was willing to get uncomfortable for my family and for us to be out of financial stress, for us to have all the things that we really, really wanted, as in a home and flexibility with a job and being able to be more generous with our church, all of the things. What are you willing to be uncomfortable for? All right, go ahead.
Well, it's a perfect segue into the next one, because if you are going to switch your mindset from being a hobby owner to a business owner, you have to do uncomfortable things. And what I love about what Joanna just said is that if you are going to be a business owner in 2022, this is the second tip, is don't be a hobby owner, be a business owner. If you're going to be a business owner, you cannot have a victim mindset. When there is a shipping mistake, you cannot say, oh, our shipping sucks. We're the worst. We're never going to get this right. Okay, that you cannot have that attitude and be successful. When somebody quits on your team, you cannot say, I'm the worst leader. I am never going to find a business builder. I'm not good at this. Leaders have a level of confidence and optimism and what I like to call being a victor. So we are not victims. You cannot be a victim. I can't afford that trip. Okay, but what if instead you said, I don't know how I'm going to afford it yet, but I'm going to go get every single bonus on the way from now until June, and I'm going to save it and I'm going to figure it out, because leaders figure things out. We are not victims. We figure things out. Okay. So that was going to be like my last tip actually, but it flowed perfectly into what Joanna said. So tip, the second thing that we're going to talk about, she did comfort zones. I'm going to talk about shifting from a hobby mindset to a business mindset. The first thing you need to know, and John Maxwell says this, is leaders and business owners are tour guides, not travel agents. You guys, if your team, let me say that again. Business owners are tour guides, not travel agents. Here's why. A travel agent in a business that owns a business, okay, a hobby really, is whenever their team is slow, they're going to say, oh, looks like my team is slow. Here's some discount codes. Have fun. But a travel agent who is navigating that system or navigating that quiet with their team is going to say, my team's quiet. I wonder why. Maybe there's some fear things going on. Maybe I haven't built their belief in a hot minute. Maybe they don't know what to send. Maybe I need to go get in some messages and send them what I'm sending and see if maybe that's inspiring to them to go get into their own action. Maybe I need to go in and share my activity every single day for a week and how I'm working my business to inspire them to follow suit, because more is caught than taught. Okay. So my first tip is go be a tour guide, not a travel agent. Travel agents in a business like what we do oftentimes looks like this. I gotta find my page. Okay. And if you find yourself in this position that I'm about to tell you about, I'm telling you right now, you are sucking momentum out of your business, but it's an easy shift. Okay. So the first thing, this is what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to read it really quick. If you are taking momentum away from your team, then you are just going along for the ride. You're considered a momentum taker. Okay. They just go along for the ride. If momentum is moving, then you're moving with it. If it stopped, so do you. Your productivity and your effectiveness are based almost entirely on what others do to make things happen in your organization. For that reason, they need good leaders who produce and create a productive environment. That is one of the reasons that I define morale as faith in the leader. You guys, if you are here today and you are here because you are your team's blowing up, your sponsor's team is blowing up, and you're just here because it's fun, that's awesome. But leaders are born in the trenches. Leaders and business owners are born when things get hard, and their trials will come. Okay. And so my tip to you is to not be a momentum taker, but be a momentum maker. And the key to that is going to be consistency and getting in the trenches with your team. Okay. So let me tell you, okay, a couple of things on consistency. Tell me what you guys think as gold ambassadors with goals of being senior gold, ruby, and beyond. What are the things you think of as far as activities go that we need to be consistent in? And you can just unmute yourself and just say like whatever you think that, what are the areas we need to be consistently doing?
Showing up
Showing up how?
on the calls, in the
Yep.
thread, your 3-way threads with your team.
Yep, 3 ways: showing up on calls and trainings, because if you're not there, your team's definitely not going to be there. What else?
Posts.
What I just
Social media.
said, reaching out, follow-ups, because
Reach
like
out,
if you're
follow-ups.
doing that, then
Yep.
you're gonna expect your team to do that.
Totally. And how are they going to know, Michaela, that you're doing reach outs and follow-ups?
You gotta share with them what you're doing.
Yes. Okay, great. And I heard somebody else say posting.
Yeah, so posting on social media and being consistent, letting people know that you're using the products and what your successes are.
Yep. Yes, message examples and team threads. I love that. That's one of the best ways, you guys, to get momentum back on your side. If you're feeling like your team is quiet, is to go give them ideas of what to go say. Leading power hours. That's a great one. What else? Personal growth is a big one for me. I don't know about y'all, but if personal growth, if I'm not growing, I remember Krista Casey one time said, if you're not growing, you're dying. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, I'm going to be reading a book at all times, forever and always. What about recognition? I think that's a huge one. Recognizing your team, sidelines, uplines, learning, yeah, doing challenges, participating. Okay, so consistency is a huge one. Okay, if you're going to be a business owner, you're going to be a tour guide, not a travel agent. You are going to be consistent. And I wanted to read y'all one thing really fast. And then Emily, I'll probably pass over to you because I don't want to take too much time. This is what, let me read this to you. How can you expect to be open for business if you're not turning around the open sign in your brain, on your schedule, and on your Facebook every day? How are people going to know that you are open for business if you are not telling them and you are physically not showing up in your business? They're not. Okay. So I love that part. Okay. One more thing really, really quick. And I wanted to go back to this. I skipped over it a minute ago. 2 more things on how to be a travel agent or a tour guide, not a travel agent. One was guiding your people to third-party tools instead of giving them all the answers, because you want to feel like the expert all the time. I remember feeling like if I wasn't very confident, or I needed like I don't even know what the word would be, but like I need to feel good about myself, I would be like, oh, I need to go share everything I know with everybody I know. But like good leaders, you guys, and business owners use third-party tools. So I want to challenge y'all, when your teammate asks you a question this month or whenever, I want you to go watch as many podcasts or listen to as many podcasts as you have to go find the answer, send the podcast to them, because we have a rule on our team. You can't send a podcast or a video that you haven't watched yourself. Send it to them and then say, hey, I want you to go watch this and I want you to tell me. if this answers your question. Don't just answer the question. Okay. So tour guides will guide people into the right way to find the answers to their questions. And also they're always looking for ways to serve, encourage, and recognize others. And so that's another thing I really want to encourage you guys to do, is to go figure out, how can you serve your people? Maybe somebody on your team is going for a really big rank. Maybe they're going for gold. Send them a gift card and say, hey, I'm cheering you on. Go get some Chick-fil-A, because I know a rank up month can be crazy and you don't have time to cook. So I know Kimberly Lyon is really, really good at this on our team. She'll just send like really random like little gifts to people to encourage them, even if they're not even on her team. So anyway, treat this like a business this year, not a hobby. Business owners show up. They are consistent. They are taking people somewhere. They have a vision. Where there is no vision, where there is no journey, there is no leadership. So if you're just here, just having fun, that's great. But your business isn't going to grow if you're just here, just hanging out. Okay. You have to have a vision so you can take people somewhere in order for them to want to join you, to go along with you. All right, Emily.
Sorry,
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah.
I just had a question. Jordan, you said 3 things. You said to always be looking for ways to serve people, recognize people, and what was the 3rd thing you said?
Encourage.
Okay, thanks.
John Maxwell basically says you need to be the chief encourager for the people around you.
And leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. And influence is adding value to people. People are going to stay when they feel valued and they feel cared for. So here's an idea. Let's say you have somebody brand new that earned this call. Write them a card and send them a $5 coffee card saying, hey, I'm proud of you for earning that call tonight. That's an example, and it's $5. That might be, you might be tight financially, but it's $5 that can really bless somebody else, and you have no idea what that can do for your team and for the momentum of your team and for your people feeling loved and valued by you. And I don't think that Jordan can harp on consistency enough. I think that this job requires so much discipline because we don't have a boss. It's easy to avoid the things that are hard. And there are a lot of hard things in this job because you're dealing with people, and people can be hard and complicated, and it's not a one size fits all. And so having that discipline to get into that consistent business activity every day, carving out intentional time, is what's going to make you move forward. When you don't prioritize your work time, then it's going to be the end of the night. If you're anything like me, if you've not prioritized your time to work, you're going to spend the whole day feeling overwhelmed, feeling anxious. You're going to see notifications popping up in your messenger. You're going to be seeing notifications on your Facebook. You're going to feel underprepared. You're going to feel overwhelmed, like you might be having a panic attack or a heart attack. You're not sure. And then by the time you get your kids to bed and you're done with dishes and all the things, it's 10 o'clock at night and you have nothing to give. You have nothing to give to your business. So wake up 30 minutes early. When you're using the restroom, spend a few minutes doing that. I actually was reading an article today. I think it was somehow affiliated with John Maxwell, and he was saying that they did some article, some study or whatever, and it shows that Americans spend 4.7 hours a day on social media, just watching how other people spend their lives. So do what you need to do consistently to grow your business. It's hard. Sometimes it's not fun. A lot of the times you're not going to have instant gratification, which is why people choose to go and do something else, because they're looking for that instant gratification. But if you can be in that consistent behavior every day with that belief, with that passion, with that vision, having fun, getting connected with your team, sharing with your team what you're doing. And if nobody on your team responds, at least you are showing them and you're paving the way and you are perfecting your leadership skills when the person who is ready to run with you shows up. Okay, so I'm going to talk. Jordan, did you want to say something?
I was just going to ask really fast. Does anybody want to share? Like, when you're not consistent in your business, how does it make you feel? Because I know how it makes me feel. Cat, that's me also. I feel a lot of shame. I feel, yeah, like a
And
loser.
there's that, you guys, and there is a quick fix for that. There's a quick fix. Look at all of these: shame, stressed, overwhelmed, failure, undeserving, disappointed. Those are all so negative and not places where we are going to grow. The change, the quick fix in that is get into action. I don't know if Kanya Carlson is on this call right now or not, but I remember her telling me that she was feeling all of those things. And I asked her a few quick questions. What do you do every day? Tell me, what does your schedule look like every day? What are you doing for your business every day? And it turns out she wasn't getting into her action every day. We started doing a daily power hour where we would meet up and just work together. Just be on a Zoom. We weren't even talking. We were just holding each other accountable. And you guys know what? Within a couple of weeks, she signed 3 people and she said, who would have known that getting into action produces results? So, like, nip that in the bud. All of those negative emotions, you're allowing to happen. Carve out 20 minutes and get some work done. Truly. We don't want anybody to feel those things. That's not fulfilling. That's not where God wants us to be sitting and dwelling. Not at all. We're in a place where we have like this beautiful passion that can turn into purpose and can change people's lives if we get out of our own dang heads. So stop sitting in that negative, awful, shameful place and commit to yourself to do the uncomfortable things. And then I promise it's going to be way more fun and way more fulfilling, and you're going to be way more proud of yourself. So
I get way competitive whenever when I'm in that space. I'm like, oh, well, so-and-so's going really fast. I'm just really mad at the whole thing. And then I also start like looking left and right, like, what is she doing? What is she doing? Oh, am I getting praise here? Am I doing this? And it like creates this like whirlwind of I suck. And so anytime, this is something leaders do, you guys, you check your reactions. Where is that coming from? Am I feeling this? Am I feeling embarrassed and shame and all these things because that's real? Or am I feeling it because I need to get my booty moving and stop focusing on everyone else and put some attention on what's in front of me, which is probably my IPA sheet. So anyway, thank y'all for sharing that.
Yeah. So I'm speaking on, so Joanna talked a little bit on getting uncomfortable. Jordan talked about treating this like a business, showing up, being consistent, having that vision, that passion, showing how to value other people. And the thing I'm going to be speaking on very quickly tonight is being coachable. I'll tell you that some of my strongest leaders on my team are the ones that I will say, hey, Kara, I want you to make a list of 100 people and I want you to share that with me in the next 24 hours. And in the next 24 hours, Kara sent me a list of 100 people. Hey, Carrie, I want you to send a message to these 3 people. These are your dream teamers you told me about. Let's be praying over them. And I want you to send a message to these 3 people in the next 24 hours. And Carrie does that. You guys, there is so much fruit that comes from being coachable and teachable. John Maxwell, as you guys all know, he's kind of like, I guess, our mentoring leadership man crush. But he says, in network marketing, you have leaders who are successful. Go to them, learn from them, ask questions, follow their example, let them speak into your life, seek feedback and constructive criticism. I'll never forget when I first started, and this is not at all a pat on the back for me, but I remember Tamara Holloway telling me, you're one of the most coachable people I've ever had under me. You are going to go far in this company. And so when she told me that, I was like, okay, well, I guess I better keep listening to her. You know, like, why would I want to try to reinvent the wheel when I have somebody who has blazed a path and is telling me what to do, right? So there's such power that comes from teachability and being coachable. And so some of the things that I would encourage you to look at is, Are you showing up to these calls? Obviously, 63 of you are here right now. So yes, check. You're showing up to the calls. Are you showing up to events? Are you showing up to power hours? Are you doing your best to show up with your team and learn maybe some of the corporate calls, some of the corporate power hours? Are you showing up and soaking it in and then getting into action? Are you training yourself? Something that I regret deeply that I did not prioritize was personal growth with leadership books. I don't think until I became a diamond, I realized I was an actual leader and I started doing leadership books. And I wish so badly I would have done more leadership building, even when I was a silver, so that way I could learn and be coachable and then go and reiterate what I was learning to have a stronger team. I wish I would have done that. Are you sharing some messages, some posts, the way that you're following up with a trusted upline and seeking some tips? Are you asking, hey, would you mind taking a look at this and giving me some feedback? There is such power in humility in here. The people who have, like Jordan was saying, the people that I see having positive attitudes, being eager to learn, being okay with constructive criticism, and not having that victim mindset are the people who have fun here, and they're the people who invite that type of personality in. I promise you do not want to be running and leading victim mentality people. So don't be that yourself. Show your team or your future team how important it is to have an attitude of gratitude, to not be a victim, and to be coachable. So one of the things that John Maxwell talks about here, this is a great book, The Power of Five for Network Marketing. It's a little exercise that I'm going to have you guys think through and just answer in your head. He says, teachability is when a person pairs a desire to grow with humility. Humility is essential for coaching. And he talks through different ways that we can learn. So like I was telling you, like learning from the people who've gone ahead of you, being coachable, soaking it all in and going and getting into action. He says, if you are still not having the level of success you know that you are capable of, you need to check your teachability. You're ready to seek helpful direction after you can answer yes to the following questions. I'm going to read these 6 questions and you guys, and I'll read them slow so you guys can be reflective of how you honestly would answer that. And if you answer no to any of these, don't feel ashamed. Just know that that is something that you can be working on. Make that slight shift and have a little bit more openness to being coached. Do I have the desire to continually improve? Do I realize that I need the help of others? Do I want to be coached by others? Am I willing to make the necessary changes to improve? Do I easily give credit to those who help me? Do I desire feedback and make appropriate changes from it? And I'm going to end with this. He says, being coachable requires a commitment to grow in the context of your community by letting others speak into your life. I really hope that this sets well with you so you know you're not on an island by yourself. You have a whole team here that wants to help you grow. You have a whole team here who wants to help you have more confidence in your posting, have more confidence in the way that you are responding or you're reaching out to people. So reach out and let people help you in those areas. That is all that I have. Am I missing anything in the comments?
Nope. And I'll just tell y'all know this. Me, Joanna, Emily, we are just a bunch of girls who are very imperfect, who still have to work on these things every day. I am craving growth. Like I crave to be around people that I can go ask questions to and learn from. Like if you guys are doing awesome things, like the other day, Jennifer on our team, like she's already, how many have you added, Jennifer? Are you on? She's added like 12 people already this month, like something ridiculous. Are you on here? I think she has COVID.
I am. And
Okay.
I just added someone tonight, so I'm
Of
not
course you
sure what
did.
the total is.
Okay. But like y'all, the other day, I was like, teach me what you're doing. Like, I have just because I'm diamond doesn't mean I don't want to learn from somebody who's doing awesome things that I want to be doing. So I just want to encourage you guys, that level of humility stays with you. And like, teach me what you're doing right. Some of you guys are way better at posting than I am. Teach me. Okay. So I just want to encourage you to get out of your own way. And if somebody's doing something awesome, go ask them how they're doing it. Get the nitty gritty. Like, Jennifer, teach us all what you're doing. Okay. So anyway, that's all we have for this week. And if you have any suggestions for topics you want going forward for 2022, please let us know. Other than that, we love you. We're praying for your businesses. And we're so excited for a new year. Yes, that's it.
Bye, you all. Thanks for being on.